basically a bunch of us sisters just give you the relationship advice that you so desperately need. You know, sometimes you need some relationship advice. That's where we come in. You send in your letters anonymously via the email address sistersisterislive@gmail.com, and we gather the stories and we discuss it right here on TV and as well live on radio. We invite you to get interactive with us and send in your stories any time of the day. But we also like to thank some people that make it possible to bring this show to you week in, week out. Our proud sponsors. A very big thank you to Ghana AIDS Commission's Red Ribbon Campaign, to Onga, Mama's Helping Hand, and Kel Kids Toothpaste. When I come back, I'll introduce the wonderful sisters to you and get straight into today's story. Stay with us. And you're tuned in to Sister right here on City TV and as well live on City FM. My name is AJ Akwako Sapon. And before I meet my sisters, when the boss chicks gather, we need to have something to sip on. And that's where Brew Services comes in. Bruce of Brew Services. Hello, Bruce.
Hello, AJ.
How are you doing?
Doing very well.
Glad to see you. What are you making for us today? I see like tiki cups and a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes. So
what are we doing?
I call this the Have Banga.
Have Banga.
Yes, please. Yes.
It's a banga. We love to see it. We love to see it. And we are going to enjoy it. Thank you very much for that, Bruce.
Welcome,
but
please.
let me introduce the sisters in the house. Hi, sisters.
Hi, Jay.
And I'll start off with a very lovely Olivia, looking dazzling in orange and different colors on the side, like Jacob's coat of many colors. Bible studies.
Well, they all begin with a J.
Oh Lord, forgive me. Joseph's coat of many colors. Who sent me? That's not. Hi, Olivia. Now let's move on. No more Bible references. To the lovely Sicho. Hi, Sicho.
Hi, before I become Bloody Mary.
That's even there. You are clearly in the Valentine mood.
Yes, I am.
You are looking dazzling. And the color of your shoes, coincidentally, is the color of Rosie's dress.
I know, right?
Hi, Rosie.
AJ, I exactly.
Like, you're
last
wearing
week,
a dress.
Olivia stole my shoes.
The shoes goes on.
This week, Sicho has my shoes.
Like it's like
Next week, I'm gonna claim my shoes
You
back.
have to.
Let's just call it great minds are thinking alike. How about that for a change?
We can take
I
that.
know you like that.
Well, ladies, it's always good to have you in the studios.
Same here.
Are you ready for today's letter?
Yes.
Let's get into it. Hello, sisters. One song describes what I'm going through now, and that is If You Break My Heart, I Go Date Your Father by Ebony. I was someone who didn't want to fall for the wrong guy in school, so on campus, I was the one people gossiped about that she was too stuck up. However, one gentleman broke through my emotional barrier, and I fell hopelessly in love with him about 5 years ago. In fact, I gave him all of me. Story short, I found out very painfully that it was actually a bet. A bet between him and his boys that he could easily get me by actually using love as a bait for me. I was shattered, but I decided that I would get back at him one day. Not now, but eventually. Fast forward, I started working and realized the owner of the company was his father. I then decided to go in for his father as revenge. His father is an older, very dapper gentleman who's divorced from his wife, my ex's mother. It started off as revenge when the idea set. When the idea set in my head. But I quickly realized that as I started getting to know his father, he was actually a gentleman. He was kind, respectful, took care of every need, and was fantastic in bed. In fact, older men are amazing. I have now fallen head over heels with him, and he with me. In fact, he's proposed to me and I'm now considering marrying him. His son, however, recently found out and is so furious because he knows it's revenge on my side However, his father says he doesn't care that I've dated his son, but now his son is turning all his siblings and the entire family, in fact, everyone against me, and making it really uncomfortable to be in our relationship. I'm ready to risk it all for him, but I don't know if society, his son, and the entire family will make it easy. Shall I stick it out? Or perhaps just date without the marriage option? Because I honestly can't see myself walking away from this man who is perfect in every way. Dear sisters, help me.
Aww. Aww.
Love from revenge. La revenge that has turned sweet in the end, but not for everybody involved. I see this, my heart are good. If you break my heart, I'll do. About it. The fact that she started off with revenge, but realizing very quickly that the man is actually a lot more complicated because she's now falling head over heels and he with her. But thankfully, he doesn't care about the fact that she's dated his son before. But you know how difficult it can be if everyone else hates you in a relationship. Everyone else that you need to create the support system that you want to proceed in this relationship with is against you. Maybe even on her family side, even though she's not specified, but definitely on his side.
Okay, so this is a clear case of a guy whose intentions were wrong to start with. She also started off with the wrong intentions, but ended up falling in love with this man. She's entitled to feel the way she does. She's entitled to love this man. He's been divorced. He probably was very sorrowful. He wasn't happy until she came along. He's entitled to be happy. I feel like his son is being very selfish about the happiness of his father. That's just what I think. And if you have your parents' blessings, why not? This man has been there and done that. If you can continue to love him the way you say you do, not cheat on him, be there for him, and if he wants to marry you, out of this, I would say go in all out for it, because you would always have society. I mean, not everybody in my family loves me. Even when it comes to siblings, not everybody always loves you. Not everybody always agrees with you. But you have to know that once you say yes, it will be you against the world, and you have to do everything in your power to make it work. At the end of the day, the father doesn't necessarily need consent from his son. If it had been the other way around, then it would mean that the son will need consent from his father, the parents, yada, 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 yada. But this time around, it's the father himself who is in the relationship with you. The thing is, if you've decided to make it work and work against the odds, it will work for you. And if you pray on it too, it should be fine. I don't see why you should not be happy. And especially because you've told the man the truth. You used to date his son. He doesn't even care about it because he's happy with you and because you make him happy. So this boy, okay, so the sisters are against it, the nephews, the nieces, everybody are against it. I think they'll just get over it. I don't know, they should get over it, because they should ask themselves what makes their father happy. And maybe daddy should have some kind of conversation with the family to let them know that, okay, this is what it is. This is the girl I'm in love with. I want to marry this girl. I'm happy with this girl. Are you guys interested in what makes me happy? At the end of the day, I'm not even sure how old he is and how much more time in life he actually has.
So he might as well be happy at every moment he can get.
Well, I don't know how his previous relationship went, his previous marriage went. I would say make it official. Once you make it official, you decide to work on it. And if you work on it and you're happy with him, I don't see why anything should stop you, really.
Well, coming to Sisho on this, every relationship, you like to know that the person loves will love you too. You would want some semblance of peace when it comes down to the support system. But this is a situation where, based on your premise of revenge, which everyone else can sort of suspect, and rightly actually, it's ruined that entire ecosystem for you. Nobody wants you in there. Now you have to not only contend with having to deal or create a family and then a system that works for you. You also have to deal with all this negativity from outside coming in. Eventually, it could overwhelm the happiness of the relationship. You never know. But is the premise and how it's developed. Looking at this entire story, what are your thoughts on it?
I think, well, thankfully, how it started is not how it's going now. Because, like she rightly said, it started off as revenge for her, but she got to know this person, and then she realized he was not what he was he was deeper than she thought he would be. And it turned out it blossomed into something a lot more beautiful than that. Why not? She should totally go for it and make it work. Especially that she's also told him the truth about her prior relationship with his son. This is a ground for something beautiful to happen. Like Olivia rightly said, some of these outsiders, depending on who they are or the role they play in the relationship, you either give them strength or weakness in the relationship. They are his children or his nieces and nephews, etc. At his age, his parents do not really matter much in terms of the influence they can give him. He has a son who is old and all that.
Yeah.
So,
and siblings,
exactly.
Yeah.
I think she should go all out into it, enjoy this love that she's getting from this person, and make it work. But the son is an infant still; he has not grown.
Clearly.
Given how he's behaving, is telling that from his uni days he's still not matured into a proper man. Because you would think that at this point where his father is dating his ex, he would have behaved properly and known his place as a man, as a gentleman, how to behave, but he's still not gotten there yet. Hopefully he gets there at some point in their marriage, if they do go ahead to marry. But until then, I think she should go ahead and enjoy her life and enjoy her future with this person. It wasn't that you did right by this girl before she left you, or she cheated on you, or she left you hanging. You went to bet on her, exactly, out of your immaturity, and you are still living in that stone age. You're still not evolved. So unfortunately, there's nothing that can be done to help you. You need to get there on your own. But I think for the girl, she should just go ahead and have her fun and enjoy. But she should be very wise in terms of, if she does go ahead to have children, for example, I would advise that, especially that this man is slightly older because she dated his son, she should make sure that whatever it is that, because these are some of the problems people who marry older people face, I've realized, is one, the likelihood that because this person is older, they might die when maybe your kids are. Whatever investments there is that you can do for your children, whatever you need to put in place for your children to be able to live this life right, even in the absence of their father, you are doing all that. The onus is lying on you at this point, because what might happen is when this man is no more, the family will pounce on you with every energy they can get.
Because they already hate you.
Exactly, because they already hate you. So this is the time for you to, if you are going into the marriage, if you decide to go into the marriage, regardless of what we all say here, is to be wise about your decisions in terms of your children's future, if you have any in that relationship. That's all for me.
Rosie.
What I'll say is that when I was on March a few years ago, I heard of an association called Virgins Association. Now, when you started reading the story, I could tell where the story was going to go. That someone was going to bet. Just a word of caution that in this environment that we're in, if you choose to be chaste to yourself. No need broadcasting it and holding like a badge of honor. Later in life, you can hit your chest and say, whilst I was in so and so, I was this, I was that, I was that. Because the moment you start advertising yourself,
people want an opportunity
then you have people who want to prey on that and want to destroy it. And sometimes you don't know who is coming for good reason and who is coming for bad reason. And anybody who has intentions, they put their best foot forward. Look, they can't do that. It's like, that's perfection in itself. And because of the goal, he set all out to do what he did. Now, I'm not condoning what he did, but I'm just saying that when you put yourself out there as someone who is so chaste, no man can, no, some man will take it upon himself to you. You know what I mean? So it's important that you are true to yourself. You know who you are. You know what is important to you. keep it to yourself. If you have to share it with somebody to encourage them, that's different. But don't let it be public. As for this girl, there's no guy who can floor her. There's no guy who can have it. Let it be like, oh, this girl, she's all about learning. She's all about doing this. But not that no guy can get her. Now move forward. The intention with which the man decided to go out with the lady was wrong. He went out with the lady on a bet. Lied to her, pretended to be in love with her, only to get into her knickers. For me, he should feel embarrassed. But for the fact that he doesn't feel embarrassed, and he's selling the story in a way to
That
make
makes
it
her
look
look
like,
bad.
to make her look bad. Look, karma was well caught up with him.
Yeah.
Because the story said the lady went to work for a company and realized that the boss of the company was the father of the boy. He didn't set out looking for his father to date. It just so happened that the company that she moved to, the guy happened to be the boy's father.
But she had planned that she will get back
And
at
then
him
that
at
is
some point
when
in
she
time.
said, okay, I'll get back at him.
But that was only after
But
the
let me sure the lady had some form of admiration for the man in the company. Like, oh, he's a very nice guy, he's a nice boss. Found out that he's the son and said, and yet I'll still go after him.
The lady
Because
didn't go after him. Oh.
Well, she did.
she did
did.
for revenge.
She did.
She did for revenge.
She was
a project.
They started dating.
No. She
She
did.
said that.
intentional.
She said
She
was
planned that she'll get back at him sometime.
Yes.
Then she now sees that the owner of the company is the
Is the
father.
boy's
And she
father.
now said that this is my opportunity
Yes.
for revenge.
So she got
Yeah.
back at, but the thing is that because the man is a solid man, I'm sure in the process of conversation and everything, at some point in time, I'm very sure that the woman must have told the man that, look, this is the reason why I got to be with you. But truth be told, I'm actually really falling in love with you. That's why the father is not even upset what the son is saying.
Yeah.
And that's why truth in a relationship is very important. That when it counts the most, they would be the ones to even hold the thing and defend you and defend you to the maximum. So it's something that she did that's very commendable. Long and short, the girl is not a bad girl. She's a very good girl.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate that somebody who set out to take advantage of her got her in that manner. The man too, it's not like he has a wife at home and he's cheating on his wife or anything. The wife is past. After he divorced the wife. So clearly, she's not a reason why the
course.
man divorced the wife. So to be honest with you, it's fertile grounds. But I'd like to add a word to what Ticho said, that it's important that when you get to an environment and your in-laws don't like you, in as much as you are together with the person loves you, you love the person, everything, you need to have that mentality. What if? What if? And that's where the investment and setting your kids in a certain place, their school and everything becomes very important. It may not even be after the man dies. It may even be after you yourself, you die.
Exactly.
Because when you yourself, you die, men, sometimes they may not have hands-on on everything. Now, those children become your family's property and you don't know what they'll do with them. So sometimes it's important that when you're in things like this, you put your head on the ground and know that you need to sort of, you can't ring fence everything, but as much as possible, try and ring fence certain things and make sure that their future is somewhat secured. If you're in a family and then they love you like my in-laws and things like that, Charlie, I can sit aloof and know that my kids are going to be taken care of. You know what I mean? But when you get to a place where there's this hostility, you need to make sure, because you realize that it's the two of you that are making a mistake. Once one person goes out of the equation, if you're not careful, it can get really murky. Yeah. But the girl is a good girl.
Now, a question I like to ask: can you? A lot of times, when you are in a situation where maybe you're dating a guy, and can you really proceed with this relationship? This is the opposite. You're dating a parent, and now the kids hate you, your in-laws hate you, and the rest of society look at you.
Existent?
And the rest of society is looking at you like you're this gold digger who is chasing this man for revenge, which may have started off that way but has evolved very quickly into a love story. Now, a lot of times people are quick to advise someone, if the people don't like you,
Don't
don't
go there.
go there.
No.
Now she should be taking marriage off the table and say, you know what? The rest of time.
No.
She should rather make it legal. Because,
Yeah.
Because when she decides not to make it legal, she ends up being a laughing stock. Because
Yes.
at the end of the day, you actually take away the respect from yourself.
Yes.
Because now you even give the boy who's making all this ammunition to say, at the end of the day,
Yeah, just a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But once you come in, everything is official. You've done right by God. You've done right by man. You know that at the end of the day, is us against the world. So whatever they think, even when my mother got married, right? It was after she got married that she ended up finding that my dad had other kids, right? And then we had to live with them. You can't force everybody to love. And no matter what she did as stepmother, they hated her. She would buy new shoes for them. She would do whatever she had to do, but they still hated her. So technically now she's become this guy's stepmother. I mean, she deserves.
No, I think that look, the boy should just suck it up.
He should just suck it up.
It's true.
He has caused all of this, and he
Yes.
should be the last one talking right now.
Yeah.
Have a more mature version, you have a more loving version, a more caring version.
You know it.
He probably spends on you,
Preach
treats
it.
you like,
More sweeter and experienced version.
sweetheart, enjoy it. Don't for me, just make it official and legally, enjoy it. And like my sisters have clearly said, make sure that you are guaranteed note so that in the case of an emergency, should one of you die, at least the other people you're looking to bring into this world would be sorted. Even you yourself, you'll be sorted.
Yeah, another thing too is that you see, sometimes when people talk bad about you, ill about you, when they haven't experienced you, they have all these horrible emotions.
Yeah.
But sometimes, as time goes on, when they begin to experience
know you.
those people become your champions. So, for instance, as for the boy there, he will forever be your hater. He is sulking. Listen, he is so sad. That's such a beautiful thing. Me meja, I'm papa befa. It's his ego that is talking. He's just thinking that he is doing you bad. But you see, the thing is that once you get married to the man and you start treating him nicely, and this boy, in spite of everything, you treat him with dignity and some form of respect, and that is happening. You realize that as time goes on, his siblings are like, she's not that bad. The aunties, my girl, we are you, or to say. Then you realize that as time goes on, you actually start turning your enemies into a fan base. Now the man doesn't have an option than to sit somewhere else. At some point, these very siblings that are against you, they will be the ones who will be sitting with you and then doing stuff with you. So look, just be your authentic self. You are somebody with a good heart. You have a pure heart. The way Karma designed it, said that you went to meet the father. This same Karma will ensure that nothing bad happens to you. So just make sure that once you are going with a pure heart and you love him genuinely, just love him. Everything else will fall into place.
Okay.
Olivia has spoken severally about her personal experiences, and we know how beautiful that unfolded. And I think that you can also have a beautiful story to share too. But just keep your eyes on the ball. Don't let these people pressure you into saying that you rather be a perpetual side chick. I mean, then where are you heading? This man wants to treat you right, wants to treat you with dignity, with respect, loves you for who you are. Don't mess it up. Because some of these men, when they make that decision and you put water inside too much, the decision goes into the background and may never resurface. So once they have decided and want to do this, and you want to do it too, go ahead. Nothing should stop you.
Okay.
I think another crucial thing is people need to understand that the dynamics of every relationship is different and is peculiar to your issues. For example, if you were to marry a man who has children, the dynamics of your relationship will be different from somebody who is married, a single man who does not have children, plus you who do not have children. The dynamics of that relationship is different. Now, if you are marrying an older person too, the dynamics of that relationship is different. The question you asked being that, do they really matter in this equation? As far as I'm concerned, they don't really matter because this boy is the man's son. If it was the other way around where he is the man's father, then it would have been a lot more problematic because then you need them to give you their blessing.
But you don't need his kids' blessings.
In Africa, no.
He's the kid. in Africa, no. As far as I'm concerned,
What about his sister's blessing?
his sister's blessing,
Yes.
yes. But have you wronged them? No. Is there a reason why they hate you? No. Like she said, if you play your cards well and you keep being a good person, at some point, like the same karma that took the guy to that point, will bring them to the point where they will realize you're a good person. And then we'll put the guy back in his place to realize that what he's doing is just being an infant and he will change. Even if he doesn't, you really do not need his blessing. You just need to continue being the good person that you are to this man and to your marriage.
Okay. That's
Exactly.
all.
And
Yeah.
to piggyback quickly on what she said,
10 seconds.
The guy should rather be careful because the Bible says, honor thy mother and the father
Exactly.
on this land so that thy days will be long.
Yes.
So if he continues to disrespect his father and his father's wife,
Yeah.
then his days are really numbered.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
what's a threat?
All right. So we're gonna go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be moving on to the next one. Do let us know your thoughts. What do you think this particular lady should be doing? Use a hashtag sister and let us know all about it. We'll be right back with more.
Luscious and mouth-watering. Try this Ongalicious soybean chunk veggie stew. First, add garlic, ginger, red habanero pepper, onions, chopped tomatoes, a splash of water, and blend. Place 90 grams pack of the new Onga soybean protein chunks in a bowl. Add 200 ml of water. Soak for 10 minutes until the water has been absorbed by the chunks. Now place a pan on heat. Shallow fry until golden brown. And remove chunks from heat. In the same pan, sauté some onions, add tomato paste and cook for 2 minutes. Add in the blended mix. Stir, cover and allow to cook. Add in bay leaf, white pepper, salt and stir. Add in Onga 3 mix. Stir to incorporate the seasoning. Add in Onga soybean protein chunks and stir. Cover and allow to cook. When stew is almost ready, add chopped bell peppers. Add in French beans and carrots. Cook for 5 more minutes. And your mouth-watering Ongalicious stew is ready to pair with your fancy kinky or any carb of your choice.
You're tuned in to Sister on City TV and as well live on City FM. My name is AJ Akwakostapa. A very big thank you to our proud sponsors, Kel Kids Toothpaste, Onga, Mama's Helping Hand, and Ghana AIDS Commission's Red Ribbon Campaign. A very big thank you as well to Bruce of Bruce Services for our delicious cocktails in our most colorful glasses as we sip and gist about today's stories. I'm here with my sisters, Olivia, Sicho, and of course, the very lovely Rosie. And we're moving on to story number 2. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Hi, sisters. I am dating a guy who isn't in the country for the last 3 years, and we're planning to marry at the end of the year. However, I have an issue with him. He's always pestering me to have someone else, I mean an intimate partner, which I always decline to do. His reason is because he's not based in the country, he would want me to have fun. And he wouldn't judge me or hold it against me. In fact, far from it. He assures me it's something he gets a kick out of. He likes hearing, and he would want me to go and explore and come and relay the details to him in very graphic form. I keep declining. He ends up getting very pissed anytime I decline the offer, and we have a lot of fights. I don't want to fight him anymore, but I do not want to do this. Please, what can I do? I'm so confused, girls. I really do love this guy.
Oh my day.
A man who gets a fetish of hearing
Ew.
other men with his woman.
Aye.
And she wants to marry him. And he wants to marry her.
Her love is
But
overrated.
it comes
I'm
with
sorry.
a very interesting point where you must explore and tell me all about it.
Interesting. In this 21st century, people are looking like people are upset when their partners are cheating. The thing is, two things. He could be cheating where he is.
No, he's already married. Olivia, he's married with children.
He has a whole family.
He has a whole family and
That is-
grandchildren.
That is such a possibility because you see, half the time,
Yes.
these people want their partners because this girl has probably been faithful 3 years. She
Yeah.
hasn't done anything. Every time they talk, she constantly is reporting her routine to him. And he's probably been promiscuous, like Sicho is saying. He probably has like 10 children or something. So he just wants to, like, he wants the
To even the
to
seal.
even it. I'm as guilty as you are. It doesn't matter. And somebody like this, right? I wouldn't put it past him if he decides to say, "Oh, since we started having sex, I think we need to invite one more person. I need to we need to, have a second person sleeping with us together." This guy is mental, sweetheart.
Psychopathic
3
tendencies.
years. I'm sorry. Don't feel like you've wasted your time. To think about. There's nothing to do because he's mad. It sounds in a case like this, when you even get married and everything is official, he would not understand when you guys go to the altar and you say, "You're better for words, I'll be faithful to you," yada yada. It means jack to him. He cannot relate with faithfulness. He cannot relate with trust.
Yeah.
He cannot relate with empathy. He cannot relate with what it means to be in a faithful, committed relationship.
Yes.
Because in his mind, relationships need to be open. And I will struggle to live with somebody for the next 50, 60 years who has this mentality in a relationship. So it means that what you guys will have kids, and what happens to the kids? It means that they'll continue to see daddy bring Akosia, Adra, Mansa, and he would do it in the open because as far as he's concerned,
You
you
have
are
an open
okay
marriage.
with it. And you too, you'll be frustrated. It means, and he's also okay with you bring Kojo, Kofi, Menu, everybody into the house. So what kind of family setting are you putting together for the future of your children? What kind of example are you putting out there? For me, it's a big red flag. If he doesn't want to keep his pants on, I don't even know what kind of STDs and STIs this guy has got, but definitely he's not coming into my pants. So I beg, let it go. This is so not worth it. Don't
Olivia
even
is
pray about
heated.
it.
Yes.
When she was there, I was just like,
Rosie, like,
I was getting like serious.
Preach, sister, kind of vibe.
so clearly we're looking at an open relationship. He wants an open relationship. He wants an open marriage.
No, it's not an open relationship.
Yeah.
It's a format.
It's a non-existent
You
relationship.
see, it's a format. You see, look, and sisters, you have a man who's living outside 3 whole years. You haven't communicated. You haven't met physically. You haven't seen each other. He's been away for 3 years now. You see, is that even a relationship? I say I love him so much. If it's a marriage and he has to go somewhere for 3 years for work, but you see, in a relationship, you see, this is the time that people are putting effort into things. That 3 years, what is he doing?
Thank you.
He wants you to do some for validation.
No, he wants you to move on.
In the end, the details that you give him
Will be used against you.
will be used, Charlie, that is according to Dating chapter 1, verse 77. That which you communicate about the details shall be used against thou. So it's important that you know where you are heading. A man like this, the marriage you claim that you are marrying, no, I'll be surprised if it comes on.
It's not happening.
It may not happen.
It's not.
He'll be dragging you. And I've had a situation where the man has actually had family members come and perform the traditional ceremony in his absence with a picture and everything. If it's today that the man will come to Ghana, I don't know.
Wow.
And what I'm talking about is over 10 years.
Oh.
You see, there are men who do horrible things. And the Ghanaian women, some of them, I don't know whether it's their brochure you are in love with. The fact that our brochure that you are in love with. Because if you had a man in Ghana who was staying in Kumasi whilst you were in Accra and didn't make an effort to come and see you in 6 months, you write to us and tell us that the man has made no efforts to engage you, to get in touch with you. Do you think that a man who is even living in Zabzugu whilst you are in Accra will tell you that, oh, because I'm away for so and so, please enjoy yourself and tell me the details when I come out here? I mean, it's crazy. It's format. Look, I don't think you're even in a relationship. You're in a situationship.
Dispensationship.
And this relationship,
Hey,
you are in an arrangementship.
sister.
You are in a non-existent relationship. To be honest with you, I don't see it as a relationship. So at the end of the day, how well do you know each other to say, but you love him? What do you love about him?
Thank you.
The $100 you send for you to nanny to be what? Whatever. Is that what you're in love with? You know, so at the end of the day, all I'm trying to say, look, let's guard
spade a
our
spade.
hearts. And I wish that women would be, some women, not, I know a lot of women have it, you know, I'm hoping that some women would be able to be bold enough to see through some of these things and be able to make decisions for themselves, for the betterment of themselves.
Exactly.
Are you settled in a relationship? You haven't seen him for 3 years. In a marriage, you can go away for 7 years. Now, like you said, the STDs. If you want to try what he's saying out, the STDs, the emotional wahala, soul ties, the connections and things like that. Charlie, it's just too much to deal with. So a man that is actually promoting you, oh, you just go and mess around, go and mess around. Even those in open relationships, they don't just tell you that you just open to anybody. Sometimes you need to open. They have rules of engagement. And if you are doing this and I tell you to stop, you stop. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with that. Or let's all do it together. We are together, but we decide to do a swap or something. Even those in open relationships, there are guidelines, there are rules. But yours is open, fanfare. He's setting up for disaster. He doesn't even like you. If he likes you, he won't be telling you, go and sit with any Tom, Dick, and Harry and come and report.
Exactly.
My dear, don't fall for that. Do not fall for that. Because once you fall for that, you are hurting yourself in the process. One day, you live with so much regret. You can't even go back and recount the things you have done. And this man will be free, like with his family that he already has in Abrutri. He maybe his first child cries, getting ready to get married. And Charlie, my dear, let's see through these things.
But I'll come to the issue of an open relationship shortly. But I'd like to hear Sichu's thoughts about this.
Devil's advocate. Let's go. Look, I can bet my last coin on this. This guy is married with children or has psychopathic tendencies. Look, even those who date married men will tell you this. When I cheat, cry.
Even that,
The cheating the cheater.
Yes, it's true. And
you have to be loyal.
Yes, jealous kind.
Extremely loyal.
Sorry.
So to tell me that you've dated someone for 3 years and you love him and he loves you and he is telling you, no man under God's given sun.
And it's
will
actually
tell you
angry when you don't do it.
Yes, and it's angry when you don't do it. And it's telling you to go and do it and bring him
Videos, details.
In
Look,
graphic.
he's a psychopath.
Details.
He's not just married. He's married with children who are in college and are getting married.
Have children of their own.
Yes. And he has psychopathic tendencies. Please run. Delete his number. Block the number first and delete it on this phone. And go and find yourself a man who is responsible, matured, intelligent, and Christian. Stop dating people who have issues from their past, who are looking for someone to hurt and all this. This is not right. Nobody should have to ever go through this. You are with someone for 3 years, you've not even seen them. They've not made an effort to look. Ghanaian guys are coming to Ghana every Christmas. If he's not been able to save up to come to Ghana, it even tells that he is not responsible to take care of you. That is $100 that he's sending. He can get it in a day or two. It's not enough for you
couple of hours.
Couple of hours.
Thank you. It's not enough for you to sit here for 3 years and be waiting for someone. And you know what, AJ, another thing I've realized this. The moment you tell yourself and your mind that you are dating, you don't meet people. It's like I hear there's a scientific term for it. When you are divorced, you start to meet a lot of divorced people. When you have a child, you start to meet a lot of people who have children. When you are depressed, you start to see a lot of other people who are depressed. It's the same way when you are dating. You never meet a single guy to date. You never meet a single, and because she has fighted herself for the 3 years that she's sitting there, I'm dating a guy out here, so you're
not attracted to any guy.
You're not attracted to him. She should block this guy, delete his number,
and be single in your head.
Be single in your head and in your heart, so that you can meet someone else who's ready to.
Give it to me, sister.
Look, it's about time we women
you talk everything.
Yes, it's about time we women grow up and become matured about some of these things. Be discerning in your spirit. Start to pray to God to bring good people into your life, so that when someone comes, you can sense them. Let me me tell you this story. There's this guy. This one is a personal story. There's this guy who started pursuing me on Instagram. Oh, you're chatting me. I want to see you. Then I'm like, Charlie, I don't like that. Oh, starting mommy pressure. So I'm like, oh, you're okay. Something about you is not right. Because then the guy like, he's not that pushy.
Yeah.
Or to nebo kakra, you know. I want to see you. So one time I was from rehearsal in East Lake and he said he was at the mall. So I passed by and then we had lunch. Even upon talking to him, me do better crime, me do better Dubai. So I'm like, please, come on,
Tell me something I don't know.
exactly.
Format.
Long and short. I couldn't buy into that. I'm not easy to vibe like that. Yeah, you know, AJ, when you're in that kind. And then ignoring him for the longest time. I saw that one girl had posted him on Instagram that he's a crook, he's that. Like, my God, thank you for the spirit of discernment. Because sometimes you can just feel it that something about a person is not right. And it only happens when you are in tune with the spirit of God. And I think we all just need to get there to the point where even with human beings, you can tell. Sometimes when a person gets close, you can just tell, I don't want to be close to this person. The energy and mommy. Because really, how can you sit there?
True.
A human being created in the image of God and allow another man to tell you this, and you are saying that you are still in love with him. Are you joking? Are you joking? No man should have to tell you that for you to even condone it. We are not having that conversation for the next 30 minutes. Like we are done. When you go and bring me, are you serious?
But so you said you were going to be devil's advocate too.
Yes,
Now response, no, like. He's trying to tell you indirectly in a nice way that move on with your life. But you are now being, I blame the lady. You are now being immature enough to read in between the lines. You see? Yes. So I'm sorry. Please move on with your life.
Now let me take it from another angle. Open relationship. Maybe, just maybe, and be open-minded here. Ladies. Maybe this man really loves her. Maybe this man really wants to marry her. Let that be open-minded. Let me play the devil's advocate. Perhaps we are reading meaning that is not necessarily in there to him. But let's start off this premise that perhaps he really wants to marry her.
Okay.
Perhaps he really, really loves her, but he, as he stated, gets a kick from someone being with his woman.
I bet go. If you get a kick,
AJ, I'm itching to go.
No, you just finish going. Wait.
How far is he going to go? The next thing, you're going to have kids with this person, and he will say, let's have sex with our own child. How far is he going to go? Or the next thing, you bring your best friend to the house, let's have sex with her. Open relationship, open mind. My God. My God. STD everywhere. Let's have sex with an AIDS patient. Let's be open-minded for a change. Let's go and seduce the pastor. You know,
because I need the
kick. Your kick for my soul.
Okay. His sexual fetish or his sexual preference or his weird kink he has is to have women. What do they call it? There's a term for it. I can't even remember. There's a term for it that when a man gets a kick out of a woman,
you doing another person,
yes, and he sees it or he hears about it. That is his kink.
He should go to the psychiatric
No, wait.
there.
Natchi. What did you like? This my sister. So you see,
too hot.
I think that see the difference between that kind and this kind is that for such open relationships, there's actually a connection. They're actually together. And then they decide once in a while to do these things to put the...
But that's his kink. He doesn't want once in a while.
No, hold on.
He wants that every time I'm not in town, I want you to be with someone.
No, hold on. But
that is my way of... That's your way of keeping me.
That's something I know. But I'm saying that when you do get the kick, what do you do with the kick? You see, where I'm trying to get to is that, listen, that's something that those who do things like that, they are together. But they have told you that, look, listen, I want you to engage with somebody else. They watch it, so they are there. When they get their cake, they finish it up with you. Or when you go and come, you are telling them the stories, they are aroused, they finish it up with you. I'm trying to be very as open-minded as I can. When you get the cake, where do you complete the cake? It's like you're giving it. It's like you have a ball. They're giving you a family. Why is the ball? Hold on. Why is the ball?
House and a brooch
with his
But
actual
you know
wife.
why? Because you are giving him the cake and he's scoring the goal somewhere.
Yes, with his actual
So
wife.
my thing is not about, listen, even that's something that even in open relationships, look, I've heard of things, but there are rules and there are
Boundaries.
There are boundaries and there are ways to do it. You can't stay outside for 3 years and you want me to be in Ghana here and be giving you kicks for you to be scoring goals elsewhere.
But I will
Because
score it
listen,
when I come.
See, no.
And marry
No,
you.
When
no,
is
no,
that?
no.
In three-
Exactly.
another 3 years?
Listen, for
Perhaps.
instance, listen,
In
so many
another
people
3
He
have,
doesn't even want
See.
videos, so he just wants you to graphically
no, hold
tell
on.
him.
So many people have different fetishes. Some will see them like ill. But I believe that amongst us, we also have 1 or 2 fetishes here and there.
Well,
I'm not saying that we do, but I'm saying
sir,
we may
Tell
have.
me, my.
Okay. So at the end of the day, I will
think
not
you
want
have
to judge anybody for having a fetish. And you see, anybody who has a fetish, they experience it with the other.
yes.
My problem here is not, I'm not, even though the whole idea of doing that is appalling, I can't think about it. I'm very much in sync with Sicho on that regard. I'm just saying that let's assume that it's not even appalling. Let's assume it's even understandable or you can imagine it. You need to do it together, physically with your partner. Because anything about intimacy, about about sex and all that, it needs to be terminated elsewhere. So how is it terminated us? Who is helping you terminate it? Who is helping you finish the act? Complete the act. Where are you scoring all that kick that you are getting? Where is that energy going to? So my problem is that, look, listen, this is different from an open relationship. In an open relationship, both of you decide.
This is manipulation.
Both of you are there. Maybe you see it happen, you come and join in, or you see it happen, and when she comes over to you, you complete it. Something has to happen. About 3 years, 36 months. Multiply 350, whatever, times 3
You can get pregnant
days.
and the child will still be 2 years old.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, it's so long a time to be giving kicks.
Yeah.
And you
And to
yourself,
still be in love.
and you yourself,
Ew.
whilst you are doing that, is he not afraid that you might meet somebody that you actually fall for? That means he's not even worried about who you engage. Either 2 things. Either you are too desperate to marry him, and he's trying to give you these things to sort of like help you to move on. Because he doesn't want to say main warrior. But he's trying to do these things to you. So hopefully that, hoping
get
that
them
one
fall
of
in
love with you.
them will fall in love with you and then you will move on. It's not like he cares about you. There's no love in here. I'm not seeing any love from his end to you. All I'm seeing is that some miserable girl who can buy any form of lie he dishes out to her
Exactly.
and is willing to consider almost anything.
Yeah.
Look, I hope you have not tried one of the episodes to give him the cake. I hope.
No, she's contemplating on trying, and she's hoping
Sweet.
that we will encourage her
I know what I'm
to
saying.
try.
No, hold
But
on.
the thing
What
is-
about- what about-
The reason why I'm saying I hope she hasn't tried. Look, sometimes when somebody comes looking for you for advice,
They probably have
he
done
will
it.
not. He or she may not say that I've done it. They'll say, "Oh, I'm contemplating."
But what if this is a big test? What if he wants to ensure that you are faithful to me here? So maybe if I give you carte blanche to go out there and do whatever it is with whoever it is, you would still pick me. And I want to push her and test her to the point where I know that certainly, no matter how much,
If you test
I
me like that, and
AJ,
I found out it
you
was
see-
a test,
you
I will
see-
end up leaving you.
AJ,
You see,
I want
the
to
thing
speak
is-
about this
the
testing.
The thing is, you need to know who you are as an individual
Exactly.
before meeting whoever it is who's
Exactly.
coming into your life. You need to know what your morals are. You need to know what your ethics
Your
are. You
deal
need to
breakers.
know what your values are. You need to know what your deal breakers are. So no matter how this guy seems upset because I am not going by what he's expecting me to do, I will be assertive in my communication with him. Honey Bunny, there's no way I
You-
can
you
do-
actually
I
call
love
her
you.
Honey Bunny?
No. Because I'm putting myself in her situation whereby she's madly in love with this person, and in the situation whereby if it were a test, you have to be, baby, don't shift the goalposts. You don't do this. You don't like this.
this is what you believe in as a Christian. This is what your values are. This is what your morals are. And when he's getting upset like that, you also need to let him know that what he's doing to you is actually upsetting you as well. If he can't deal with it too, but they say, before you get married to somebody, you need to ask yourself, what do I want to see in this man? What are the characteristics I'm looking for? What kind of character do I want from a man who is going to father my children? And every woman is looking for, when we get married, we're looking for somebody who can be like our fathers, at least the responsible fathers. If their fathers are not responsible, we don't want them. But every woman who would love her, irrespective of everything, and treat her like the way the father would love her as a daughter. And this guy is not giving me the sense that he's responsible in that regard. If it's a test, tell him no, it's no. If he can't deal with it, then too bad, let him go. When I talk about characteristics in a good man, what are you looking for? Is he God-fearing? What does he believe in? What rules are you going to live by as a couple, as a family? What does he treasure about you? Does he want you to just go off and be sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry? And does that make him happy? And how does that make you feel? So you also need to be selfish about what makes you happy, what defines you as a human being. You don't just get married because everybody is getting married. You've been sitting down for 3 years, nothing has come out of it, and you still want to go by his crap. He has nothing to offer you, honey, but you move on.
Okay.
And don't change who you are because you're desperate to get married. It doesn't work like that, because after you get married, it's going to get worse.
Now coming to you, Sisho.
You see, I've come to realize that a lot of girls are very delusional when it comes to what love is supposed to be.
Thank you.
And so then they fall for every crap that is thrown their way. Look, you'll be surprised to realize that this guy doesn't even call this girl. She's probably the one who is doing the calling all the time. And calling in love.
Yeah.
You know, she's probably the one who is doing all the work and calling it. I've heard stories. Does he call you? Does he spend? One girl one time told me that, he's been with this guy for 2 years. So man, 200 Ghana. A guy you've been with for 2 years has never given you 200 Ghana cedis to do anything. You are still with him.
Wow.
How does it get there with people? You know, and she's the one that when her ex, whom she has one child with, gives her money for the baby,
he gets angry.
Then she gives some to him.
Hey! And what a heated and very exciting episode of Sister Sister it has been. Ladies, thank you so much. Rosie, Sicho, Olivia, always a pleasure having you. And we'll wrap it up with my thoughts. And we'll wrap it up with my thoughts on the very first story on the lady whose found love. Started off from revenge, but has evolved into a beautiful love story. I'd like to say, stick with it. If you truly believe that this man is everything and more that you want, despite the way you started it off, all that matters is how both of you feel, regardless of what this son might pose in this relationship. So go all out. Find love. Sometimes you find love in the most unexpected places, and it's your responsibility to see it through. So long as you know you can stick it out with him, then go for it, and you will be happier for it. Now to our second story on this lady who's don't be motivated by someone else's kinks or sexual fantasies to do something that is completely contradictory to what you believe in. Stick through with what your values are. If you feel you cannot cheat on your husband or your spouse or your boyfriend, even though they've given you carte blanche to do so, then don't do it. If you feel that is something he cannot live with, then perhaps you should be considering walking away, because 3 years is a long time to be apart from someone, and perhaps your soulmate may be in Ghana and not outside the country. So please, once you know you cannot deal with it, then you should hold yourself to better standards and walk away. Now, thank you all for watching another exciting edition of Sister Sister. To my sisters, Rosie, Teacher, Olivia, thank you all for joining me. To Bruce Services for the most delicious cocktails and in the most fancy glasses. We'd like to say a very big thank you to you, Bruce of Bruce Services. Find him on social media. And of course, get yourself some Bruce Service cocktails because they truly are stellar. To our awesome sponsors, Kel Kids Toothpaste, Ghana AIDS Commission Red Ribbon Campaign, and Onga, Mama's Helping Hand, we say a very big thank you for coming on board and always allowing us bring this exciting edition of Sister Sister to our amazing audience week after week. A very big thank you to First Choice for my lovely hair, and again to Brew Services for the delicious cocktails. Always a pleasure having you on the show. And a big thank you as well to you for being tuned in. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and encouraging you, if you have any issue you may be going through, send in your story to sistersisteriSlive@gmail.com. Of course, use the hashtag sister to share your thoughts as well on what you think our ladies who sent in the stories today should be doing. Until I come your way again, my name is AJ Akwako Sapon. Keep watching City FM, keep listening to City FM, and of course watching City TV. Enjoy.